Everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in a previous video that was breaking, I had discussed how Glock was bending the knee, getting rid of Gen 3, Gen 4, and Gen 5 Glocks for civilian consumption. They will keep it going, obviously, for Leo and military, but for you and me, no more. Instead, we are getting the V-Series because the V-Series will not accept the switch. All right, guys, before I get too far into it, I just want to remind you down in the description below, obviously, is a link to the merch store where you can pick up your awesome merch from Gun Guru. Also, please like and share this video with everyone you know. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, toggle that notification bell. This way you always get informed anytime I put up a new video or I do one of my Saturday Night Lives. All right, so let's get into it. So, some FFLs out there, some way, somehow, have gotten their hands on a V-Series Glock, and they're offering them up for sale. There are some reviews out there already because influencers obviously get their guns first. Now, I asked for one, and crickets, because, well, I'm a small little channel compared to the others. So, neither here nor there. If I can ever get one, I'll probably do a review on it. But, supposedly, these guns will not accept the Glock switches. Thus, they will be allowed in states like Connecticut, California, Illinois, and all the other states that have gone after Glock. Now, we know Glock basically has been getting railroaded with lawsuits from every blue state that exists, mainly because people take a standard, lawful, legal Glock and then illegally convert them into a machine gun with a third-party Glock switch. Now, where does the switch go? What are we talking about? So I have my, right here, it's nice Gen 4 Glock 19, which is one of my everyday carries. It is completely empty. But in the back here on the back plate, there are two little squares. The one on the left has something in there. It's a piece of plastic. And the one on the right is empty. That is where the criminal is basically installing the Glock switch by replacing the backplate with the switch itself. Now, when Gen 5s came out, Gen 5s had a piece of plastic blocking that right side. Well, it was only plastic, and, you could just snap it off. So, people were doing that. Well, the V-Series, supposedly, it was supposed to be made out of metal. We can confirm that it is. I have some photos of it. But why am I even talking about it? Well, that's easy. So these FFLs get their hands on the V-Series, and people start picking them up. Well, turns out, in less than a week, somebody was able to figure out how to put a switch on it. So everything Glock has just gone through, with a PR disaster by announcing they're getting rid of Gen 3, 4s, and 5s, switching over to something new, just so they could be compliant with California, Connecticut, Illinois, and all these other states. Turns out, nope. Someone was just like, watch this, or they're like, hold my beer, and they basically showed a workaround. Now, I did find this in the Glock subreddit, so, there it is. I'm not condoning any of this, but it just goes to show you, no matter what kind of feats of engineering that you do or laws that you pass, people intent on doing things are going to do things, whether you like it or not. This is a perfect example. Now, if you don't believe me, here's some more photos. And if that doesn't satisfy you, here's the video of how it works. Again, I am not condoning this, and the person that did this is an FFL and an SOT, but it just goes to show you that, hey, it is possible. Thus, they're still going to be illegal in California and Connecticut and numerous other states. Remember, Connecticut's part of HB 7042 was that it is basically unlawful for any FFL in Connecticut to sell a firearm where it's reasonably foreseeable that somebody could make that legal firearm into something illegal. It's very, very open-ended. But I think it was designed specifically to target Glocks, but, well, nobody really knows how it's going to be interpreted or enforced, but pretty sure it was going after, Glock and guns like it. How do I know this? Well, that's easy. Look at one of the other videos where Tong has gone after Ruger. Now, Ruger makes the RXM, and the Ruger RXM is just a Gen 3 Glock clone. Now, Tong came out and said, hey, under HB 7042, you need to stop producing the RXM or we're going to sue you into oblivion. Now, there's no proof that the Ruger RXM can accept a switch, let alone has ever been used with a switch. Everytown's letter that kind of started this whole thing even admitted as much. Now, Tong did come out and say, he's got videos him and his staff have looked at. And I basically said, listen, you and your staff don't know the difference between the Ruger RXM, a Shadow Systems, a PSA Dagger, or a Glock because you're all a bunch of morons. That being said, we all know that's true. That being said, there's no evidence of Ruger and the RXM accepting any switches. So Ruger came out with their statement last Friday where they pretty much told Tong to piss off. Not only are they keeping the RXM in rotation, but they're expanding the RXM family to go to compact, subcompact, and things like that. So good for Ruger. That's pretty basty. I'm happy. And it's a Connecticut company to boot. Unlike Glock coming out of Austria, where they're bending the knee because they want to placate California, Connecticut, Illinois, and all these other states. Ruger, they're standing their ground. They're like, no. Listen, Glock can use all kinds of engineering tricks. They can use all kinds of marketing and advertising to showcase how their new V-Series is safer than Gen 3, Gen 4, or Gen 5. But I think we pretty much see right here, doesn't matter. When there's a will, there's a way. Thus, nothing has changed, but Glock did get a pretty nasty black eye and is missing a tooth because people are pissed that they bent the knee instead of telling them to just go piss up a flagpole, much like Ruger did. All right, so that's pretty much all I have for you guys in this video. I just thought I'd bring it to your attention that, yes, the latest and greatest that's supposed to be anti-switch is, well, not so much. All right, so down in the comment section below, let me know what you guys think, and let me know if this isn't, like, going to work for California, Connecticut, or Illinois. If basically they're going to see these photos in these videos and basically still ban Glock from all these places. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think, and I'll see all of you in the next video.